Hello everyone, this is Joe Workman, and today we're going to go over the new and exciting TipTip stack. We're going to give you a brief overview and then dive into how to set it up. So let's get started. So here we are at the TipTip test site, and this site was created using the Rapidweaver file that actually ships with the TipTip stack. So that way you can play around and see exactly how I've done it here. So what is TipTip? Basically, TipTip allows you to add and override the browser's tooltip with a very nice and elegant tooltip box that's done completely in JavaScript and CSS. That means there's no images here. You have complete control over the look and feel, the colors, the borders, the shadows, the boldness of the font, the size of the fonts, so on and so forth. As you see, you can easily integrate this with existing links, and using the TipTip Enclosure stack that also comes, you can also add a tooltip to whatever you add inside the TipTip container or the TipTip Enclosure stack. In this particular site, I added an image so I could easily, whenever I hover over this image, or this box really, the tooltip shows up at the bottom. Or if we see, no matter where the image is, if I hover over it now, it dynamically goes to the top. Okay, that's a very nice feature of this. Now, an exciting thing is we also have integrations with the RSS stacks that were recently released. And with those, whenever you hover over your particular RSS stack, you will then get the date as well as the short description for your RSS blog post. Okay, so that's really exciting. This is a really cool feature. Again, you can customize the look and feel of that, and this is really easy to implement. Well, that is the TipTip stack, everybody, and let's go ahead and dive into the configuration of it. So here we are in the sample TipTip stack file that gets shipped with the stack itself, and let's just dive in this and actually look at how it is done. Okay, so as you see here, for this particular top link, if we were to edit that, you will see that we've added two things to this. One thing, if you didn't notice, click on this custom attributes, and you need to add two attributes for your link. First, you need to add a class, make that a value of TipTip, and then you add your title, and the contents of this title is actually going to be the contents of your TipTip tooltip. Okay, so let's just go ahead and replicate that really quick. So I've gone ahead and created a blank stacks page. Let's go ahead and drag out the text stack, and let's drag out our tooltip stack or TipTip stack. Now all we need to do here is go ahead and highlight whatever text we want to create our link for. Go down and hit the link button. That will open up your link box. Go ahead and enter in a URL. Let's go ahead and just enter it in joeworkman.net. Title, let's just do and we're going to make class is going to be TipTip. And basically you click set link. Let's go ahead and preview that. Now if I hover over the link, we have our nice tooltip, our TipTip. Couldn't be easier. It's very simple. Let's just go over the actual configurations, the settings for the TipTip. So as you see here, inside of our settings HUD, you have the ability to change the font size, the color of the text, the background color, and also the gradient. Now what that means is if you want the TipTip to be one full color and not have a gradient, I recommend making these both the same exact color. That way it's just fluid. However, if you want it to have a gradient, the background color will be the top color, and then it will slowly fade down to the gradient color at the bottom of the TipTip. Okay. Then you have your border color for the border around the TipTip. Then you have your box shadow, which is the shadow beneath the tooltip. We also have some shadows on the text, and you can customize the color of those shadows as well. And then with this checkbox, you can actually turn on and off the text shadow. If you did not want the shadow on your text, you can easily turn that off. And finally, with this checkbox, you can actually have bold text or not bold text. Okay. Now let's go ahead and look at the TipTip Enclosure. The TipTip Enclosure stack is a really simple concept. Basically, you drag out and you have an empty box. And basically, whatever you drag into that box then gets your particular tip. So if we were to just insert a quick image in here, so I now have an image stack inside of my TipTip Enclosure, we will see that this will generate a TipTip whenever I hover over this entire TipTip enclosure. So it's not just the image, it's if I hover over anywhere inside the enclosure, that TipTip will then be activated. So the settings for the TipTip enclosure are very simple. Basically, all you have to do is configure your text that you want inside of the TipTip. Okay, and that's basically it. Lastly, I wanted to mention the RSS stack integration. The RSS stack integration is really cool. As you see here, I have 2 of my RSS stacks here. There are a total of 6 RSS stacks available. And inside with this integration, basically whenever you hover over a link, you will get the TipTip integration automatically. You don't need to do anything else. All you need to do is have your RSS stacks there and drag your TipTip stack onto the page. That's all you need to do. Once you do that, the integration will take care of itself, and you will now get these elegant hover over tooltips for all of your favorite RSS feeds. And as you see, within the tip is the date as well as the short description for your particular blog post. So this is a really nice integration with the RSS stacks. Please have a look at the RSS stacks. You can see those at rss.joeworkman.net. Okay, well, that wraps up today's screencast, and I hope you really enjoy the TipTip stack. I think it's a really cool, simple, elegant stack that you can really use all over the place. Thank you very much, everybody. Bye-bye.